McKinley here, and welcome to today's show, which is all about how you can create a healthy lifestyle that works for you. Okay, so this is for you if you're a busy mum and you really value your health and well-being. If you're that kind of person, you know that your health is important, right? And you probably already know what you need to do to look after your health. Yeah. The thing is that we're constantly bombarded by all of this information telling us we need to do more. We need to do more. We need to do more. So if you're a busy mum who is fed up with other people shoulding all over you, as in you should start eating this, you should stop eating that, you should try this new exercise regime, you should be having this special magic supplement, whatever it is. If you're sick of people shooting all over you and your health and well-being and your lifestyle, then this video is for you. Because as I said, you already know that your health is important, right? Unless you've been living under a rock. And if you're a busy mum, you're already under pressure from a whole bunch of different areas. So you're probably already doing things towards eating healthy and trying to move. But you've got a lot of other commitments as well, right? And you have your own particular lifestyle that these things need to fit in around. Yet we've got this continual pressure to do more, to keep changing, to be more perfect in relation to our health and well-being. So I want to give you permission today to take some of that pressure off yourself and actually take back control. Okay. And by the way, welcome to everyone who's joined us today. And I would just like to say that, if you're joining us live, just drop a live in the chat so that I know that you're there. Drop a comment saying live. And for everyone who's watching this on the replay, drop a little comment saying replay as well, so that I know that you've caught this too. As I was saying, what I'm going to share with you today is some tips. I've said 5 tips. You never know, I might come up with some more. This is a great topic. But I've got 5 tips to help you to take the pressure off yourself and help you to have that permission slip so that you can be comfortable and confident making health and well-being choices that work for you, that work for the unique person that you are and your unique goals and aspirations, and also that fit in with and support the lifestyle that you want. Okay, so as I was saying before, drop a comment saying live if you're here live, drop replay if you're watching the replay. And also, because I know that you're a busy mum, I've got some show notes from this. So you don't need to take notes. You don't need to try and remember everything. If you want the show notes so that you can come back and look at them later, just drop notes in the comments below and I'll send you a link so you can download the show notes. All good, right? Let's get into the juicy stuff. So 5 tips to help you. And let's really dive into this because we are living in a time when there is a lot of pressure on us to do more, to be more, to be perfect. And when we're mums, we're maybe running a business, you're juggling work, you're trying to be the perfect parent, you're trying to achieve at work, we're trying to have those great relationships and do more and be more all the time. It is a lot of pressure. And it can create a lot of stress for us, just that. So I get that. I really do. If we haven't actually met yet, let me introduce myself and share with you a little bit about why I'm talking about this. I'm Anna McKinley, and my passion these days is helping entrepreneurial mums to create the strong foundations for a life that you really love by helping you to create daily habits that nourish you, that support your goals and aspirations and who you are as a human being, and that actually also support the other commitments that you've got in your business, with your family, and with your life. I do that through what I call my total wellbeing roadmap, through online content like this, through online courses and through coaching. And I came into this because I get it. My 2 kids are teenagers now. They're 15 and 17, but I've been in that place where it was just a constant juggle and a bit of a pressure cooker, trying to live up to all of the different expectations that I was putting on myself and that I was receiving from external sources. And over the years working as a coach, I've seen so many other clients in that space as well. And we don't need to. It kind of sucks the fun out of life, right? So if you're here and watching this, it means that some of that resonates with you. Um, and that means you've got a lot of calls on your time and your energy. And your time and your energy is so precious. When it comes down to it, your time and your energy are the building blocks for everything else in your life. So we want to nurture it and look after it, don't we? And there are already a lot of shoulds in your life without adding any more to them. You don't need the extra pressure. And when you're under pressure as well, it puts everything else in your life under pressure, including your business, your clients, your family, and so on. So here's the thing. You probably already have some routines in place to help you look after your health and to look after your well-being. And hey, if you do, just take a moment and appreciate yourself for that. Here's a permission slip to give yourself a good old pat on the back for taking care of you. And if you're in the place where you're going, oh, I don't quite have those routines in place yet, then be okay with that. You're a human being doing the best that you can right now. And you're in the right place. I'll give you some tips now to help you with it. And again, welcome to everyone who's here live. So I can see we've got some people joining us in the chat, which is absolutely awesome. And drop any comments or ahas that you get along the way in the chat as well. So what we're talking about today is how to get rid of the shoulds, how to take the pressure off when we know how important it is to look after our well-being. We're already really doing what we feel that we can towards that, but we've got all of this external pressure that we should be doing more. There's always more we can do. And that can just, quite frankly, take the fun out of it all. So today I'm going to share with you some tips and some reframes to help you take the pressure off yourself. So let's dive in. I've said 5 tips and it will be about 5. I might be inspired to give you a few additional ones as well. So the first thing to bear in mind, and this is something that we often forget, and this applies not just to health and well-being, it also applies in business and in other areas. There are many, 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 many people out there in the world who have gone through their own journey, who have had an aha, who found a magic process, a magic formula, a magic pill, sometimes literally, that has transformed their life, that's transformed their health and well-being. Or even, hey, Lynn, good to see you here, Lynn. Looking forward to sharing those reframing tips with you. So as I was saying, people have these ahas and they find the magic formula and it's worked for them and it's produced wonderful results. And maybe they've seen it produce great results in 1 or 2 other people as well. So they're like, woohoo, I found the holy grail. I'm going to go out and help other people transform their lives. And that is great. The thing to bear in mind, though, is that we're all unique. You are absolutely unique, just like everyone else, right? You've probably heard that saying, you're unique, just like everyone else. But it's true. And there are so many things that make you unique. So if we're focusing on the health and well-being aspect, and by that, I mean our whole well-being, I'll come to that in a moment, not just our physical health, but our emotional and mindset as well. Only you have the DNA that you have. I mean, even identical twins, you've had different experiences, different environments, and different things that lead your DNA to express differently. So you are absolutely unique in that sense. You are unique in your body. You are unique in terms of the experience and the human that you are and the purpose that you're here to accomplish. You're unique in terms of the way that you live your life, the aspirations that you have for you and your family and your business and so on. And you are also unique in terms of your lifestyle, your strengths, your weaknesses. So you are an amazing, unique package. I could go on and on about this, but you are absolutely special and unique. And one of the things about that is that something that has worked beautifully for another amazing, unique human being, they're different from you. So it won't necessarily work the same way for you. Another aspect of your amazing uniqueness is that there is only one person in all of creation who actually knows what is right for you. You guessed it. It's you. You are the only person who actually knows ultimately what is the right, and it's not even right, what feels like the best option for you. Because what if there is no right choice? What if whatever feels good to you is the thing that's right for you in the moment? And only you know what that is. This is super, super important when it comes to our health and well-being habits and routines as well, because it doesn't matter how good and how effective a particular formula or pill or routine is, it's only going to work for you if you do it. And you're only going to do it if it feels in alignment with who you are as a human being and with what you want in your life, right? So that's the first tip, is to recognize just how unique and special you are, and to recognize that that means that just because something works for someone else does not mean that you should do it yourself, because they're not you. This is a permission slip for you to say, it may work for them, but that doesn't mean that it's right for me. And even if it is right for you, it might not be right for you now at this time of your life. So follow your gut and give yourself permission to let go of things. I'd like to share with you, a couple of people have shared this concept with me recently. And it's just so beautiful. We talk so much these days about fear of missing out. I've got FOMO. Someone's got this program or this idea or this thing that's going to transform my life. And so I have to do it now or I might miss out. And that really taps into some really subconscious and quite archaic parts of our brain. And it sucks away our energy and our focus from other things in our life too, if we get tied into this FOMO stuff. So here's an alternative for you: JOMO. I've heard that from at least 2 people in the last 2 weeks, so that I can share it with you. What's JOMO? It's the joy of missing out. It's the joy of giving yourself permission to say no to something if it's not feeling like a hell yeah, this is something I really want to do right now. Because your energy and your focus is so precious. And ultimately, you're the only one who can look after them. I'm giving you a permission slip to look after your energy and your focus. So that's tip number 1. You're unique. Just because something works for someone else doesn't mean it'll necessarily work for you. You have permission to tap into the joy of missing out and say no. Second thing is letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a killer. It's a killer of our dreams and goals. It's a killer of many businesses because it gets us so stuck in trying to be perfect that we never do anything. I'd even go so far as to say it's a little bit of a killer of human beings, because perfectionism leads to chronic stress, and chronic stress does all sorts of nasty things to our health and well-being, creates reduces our immunity and creates all sorts of imbalances in our chemistry and so on and so on, and lies behind a lot of the top diseases that we're seeing in the world today. So permission slip to let go of perfectionism. I have a little saying, which is that perfect is not a destination. There actually is no such thing as perfect, because no matter how well we do something, if we are in the mindset of wanting it to be perfect, we will go looking for something to find wrong so that we can, have to make changes to get even more perfect. And that's why it kills us. It keeps us from actually, being able to say, actually, it's good enough. And it creates a huge amount of stress. So think of perfect as a direction, not a destination. It's nice to be engaged in continual improvement, but it's super, super important to just appreciate where we're at and to let go of this notion that we're ever going to arrive at perfect, because we're not. We're absolutely not. So let go of that, and you can let go of a huge source of stress. So permission. Here's another permission slip. What if, instead of thinking we have to do everything perfectly, have to have the perfect health, the perfect body, the perfect this, the perfect that, what if we could actually give ourselves permission to say, I am a human being. I am a unique and amazing human being. There's no one like me on the planet, but I'm still a human being. I'm doing my best to navigate life to the best of my ability, with the strengths that I have, with the time and energy and resources that I have, balancing the commitments that I have. And to allow ourselves that human experience. And that human experience means that some stuff won't work for us, some stuff will. Sometimes we'll trip and fall, and we allow ourselves to get up again, because that's part of the experience of being human. And that means that we can let go again of some of that pressure to be doing everything and actually just engage in that humanness. So aligned with that, here's tip number 3. And actually, I'd love to know if this is resonating with any of you who are here live on the call. It's so good to have so many people join me. So if any of this is resonating, feel free to just type the word nugget and share anything that you're taking out of what I've shared so far today. My third tip is, if you've got a dictionary, I'm not sure if anyone has a dictionary today. And just for those who've just joined, what we're talking about today is how you can create a health and well-being life, a sustainable, healthy lifestyle that works for you and for the unique individual that you are. So I'm going through some top tips. We're up to tip number 3. And that is, if you've got a dictionary, may just be an online dictionary. You may even have one of those books. It's a dictionary, whatever it is. Now's the time to get it out, because there are some words to delete from our vocabulary. And the first one is should. That word should, as in I should do X, I should be doing Y, or I should not do Z, or I shouldn't have. That's another one. That word should. Let's delete it from our dictionary. Let's ask ourselves, what is that word really? If you think about when we use that word as human beings, if we're ever using the word should on ourselves, or if someone else is using it for us, it is a red flag that says whatever that thing is that we should be doing, it's not our goal. Because if it was, we wouldn't need that word. All right? So should is a red flag to stop, take a step back, and ask ourselves, is this really in alignment? Is this really my thing? Or is it something that someone else is putting on me, or I'm allowing in? And sometimes it's not from anyone physically external. It might be from one of those voices in our heads, right? From when we were kids, that first grade teacher that we had, or one of our parents, or whatever. We carry that stuff with us as well. So that awareness around should. If you find yourself using the word should, delete it and ask yourself some questions. And the same thing goes for these other words. Need to, have to, must. Can't is another one as well. But need to, have to, must, should, they're ways of, to be blunt, subtly manipulating ourselves to put pressure on us to do things that actually are not in alignment with who we are and with what is important in our life right now. Okay, so that's tip number 3. Let's delete those words and let's replace them with, I always do things that are in alignment with who I am and support my health, my well-being, and my goals and aspirations. Right? Okay, so tip number 4, and this is one I hinted at before, is that I invite you to shift the way that we look at health and well-being. A lot of the conversations that we have around health and well-being, to be blunt, are overly narrow. And when we narrow things down, we limit ourselves hugely. So a lot of the conversation, at least the conversations that I see these days around health and well-being, are focused very much on physical health and a little bit around stress management and emotional resilience. But actually, it's a much broader picture. You are, as I said at the start, an amazing, unique human being. Oh, thank you, Lynn, for that nugget. I'm just going to have to share that one, actually. Lynn just shared nugget, need to, have to, can't, should. I'm acting in alignment with who I have come here to be at my best. And that is absolutely beautiful. And the thing is, you get to choose. I'll come back to that one in just a moment. But the concept of well-being is so much wider than simply, I have to eat well, I have to exercise, I need to get enough sleep, and I need to manage my stress. All of those are important. But you are a whole, a unique, and a very complex being. And our energy, our well-being rather, is all about our energy. It is about looking after our emotional state more broadly, which is, yes, managing our stress, but there's more to it than that. It's about being able to align yourself with a good emotional state. It's about enabling yourself to look after your mental state as well, and where our focus is and our mental focus is. It's about also, of course, looking after our body. So there are multiple dimensions. And when we actually dig into it and look into what the experts and the researchers and the leading edge science is telling us about what are all of the things that can contribute to well-being, you have a buffet to choose from. And I guarantee to you, you're already doing a lot of it. The reframe for us is to recognize all of the things that we're already doing that support our health and well-being. And by recognizing it, what we're telling ourselves is that I am the kind of person who lives in a state of supporting my well-being. I am that kind of person now. And when we're that kind of person now, we bring into our experience and create into our experience more experiences that support our health and our well-being and our accomplishment and our balance and the aspirations that we have in life through a whole bunch of mechanisms. Because even if we just look at it from a brain science point of view, what we focus on and what we believe and expect about ourselves is what our brain shows us. We literally bring that into the experience that we have of life through our brains, through what we see, through what we notice, through what we hear. All of that starts to confirm what it is that we expect and we believe about ourselves. So if we believe that we're not doing enough to look after our well-being, we will just keep seeing more evidence of that. But if we can look more widely and notice all of the things that we're already doing to support our health and our well-being while also accomplishing the things we want to in our business and being the kind of parent we want to show up as, or the kind of human that we want to show up for our families and our communities, then we will see more and more evidence of that. And that creates a momentum that actually expands and expands and expands on itself. So you get to choose. Which one do you want? Right? The limited or the expansive? So let me just share with you very, very briefly all things that independently have been scientifically shown. If you like scientific evidence, I find it's nice to have some scientific evidence. So these are all things that have been shown to independently improve and support your well-being, emotional, mental, well-being, and your physical well-being and your energy, right? So if we start actually from the mind and emotional side of things, focusing on positive emotions and things that make us feel good absolutely helps to improve our well-being. So this is where it's really important to be able to step back, notice our language, drop the shoulds and the can'ts and the language that puts pressure on us, and notice the things that feel good. So this is where things like affirmations and appreciation and that kind of practice can really help us so that we're having more of those positive emotional experiences. But there's a lot more to it than that. Engagement, doing things that enable us to leverage our strengths. Whatever it might be, being focused in the now, in the moment, contributes to our well-being. So, for example, that might just be being present in the moment when you're speaking with a friend or with a member of your family or even with yourself or in a task that might be a fairly day-to-day kind of task, but you get absorbed in doing it. That kind of engagement improves your well-being. Go figure. All right. The quality of our relationships and our connections. You taking the time to have good quality, supportive connections with other human beings, whether it's a significant other, whether it's your children, whether it's friends, other family members, people in an online community, that human connection is actually the most important thing when it comes to our well-being, our longevity, our financial success, believe it or not, over the long term. That is one of the most significant factors for our overall well-being in our life. Doing something that creates meaning for us as well. Right? It's not just about being happy. If we're doing something that gives us that sense of meaning, that sense of contribution, that's going to enhance your well-being. And by the way, this is not just about, it's just going to make me feel better. It's going to enhance my emotional and mental well-being. It's all connected. If you are pursuing something that gives you that sense of meaning, it's going to flow through as well in terms of your chemistry and the neurotransmitters that flow through your body and the way that your cells replicate in that chemical context and all of what that means for you in your physical life as well. body and mind are connected and they're talking to each other all the time. So by boosting our mental and emotional well-being, we're looking after our body too, and vice versa. So meaning, really, really a wonderful thing to build in. And we can find meaning in the smallest things. It's simply about shifting the way we look at it. We can find meaning. The other day I was hanging out the laundry and my old voice said, oh man, I'm hanging out the laundry. And then I thought, I can attach meaning to it. This is a way that I show love for my family by, in this case, hanging out my son's laundry for him because he had a commitment with some of his friends, so he couldn't do it himself. So I could show him love and create meaning around that task through that. It's little things, right? Accomplishment. Accomplishment has an incredible power, that sense of accomplishment, and most of us miss out on this. You have already today accomplished so many things. I guarantee it. You got out of bed, probably. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're probably not doing it in bed. You probably got out of bed and got dressed and cleaned. You did all these little things. You might have had a negative thought float through your mind and you might have caught it and gone, yeah, actually, I'm going to choose not to think that. There'll be a whole lot of tiny little go forward things that you have already done in your day. But most of us just let all of that go. But by noticing those things, we can create that sense of accomplishment by accomplishing little goals, little milestones, little bits of connection, and noticing and acknowledging those things. We create a sense of accomplishment, and that sense of accomplishment supports our well-being as well. And of course, on the physical side, there's managing our stress, making sure we get enough sleep. We all know that eating well is important. And of course, exercise and being in an environment that's good for us. Getting outside into nature, walking barefoot on the ground, that's really good for us as well. So many things that we can do. I'm not sharing this to put more pressure on you. I'm sharing this to give you a buffet. But most importantly, I'm sharing this with you as a big reframe. Because if you even just look at your day so far, I guarantee you that there are a whole lot of things that you've already automatically done that enhance your well-being. You've had a nice moment of connection with another human being where you exchanged a nice words or exchanged a smile maybe. You've made some healthy choices for yourself. Maybe you drank a glass of water. Maybe you went outside for a moment and let the sun be on you. All of those things look after your well-being. So you can take the pressure off and start acknowledging all of the things that you're already doing. All right. And remember, it is always a choice. This is the most important thing. You get to choose. You get to choose where you put your focus. You get to choose what you acknowledge in your life, which is where your focus goes. What you acknowledge and appreciate in yourself, you're going to see more of. You get to choose. And remembering as well that whatever we're doing or not doing, whatever pressures we face in our life, it is always a choice. And we always have a choice to do or not to do. Sometimes we might not like the options that we have. We might think, oh, none of these are good. But we've still got a choice, and that choice is your ultimate power. And the ultimate choice that you have is you always get to choose how you see how you see it. Whether you look at things as opportunities, whether you see things as challenges, whether you cup half full, cup half empty. I know it's cliched, but we've always got that choice how we respond to things as well. Lynn, thanks so much for your comment and looking at life as a buffet. It really is. And it's such a gorgeous buffet. And you can come back to the buffet as many times as you choose as well. So that was my fourth tip, was expanding what we think about well-being so that you can actually realize how much you're already doing towards your own well-being right now. And the more you focus on that, the more it grows. And it also gives you a buffet so that you can choose. Actually, maybe now I'm in the mood to put something else on my plate. You can go to the buffet and do that. That's entirely up to you. So my fifth tip, and this is super, super important, is to make sure that you have a clear compass, because it's really challenging to steer through the storm of life if we don't have a compass to help us navigate through all of the waves and the currents and the winds that will buffet us off course. And those waves and currents and winds are all of the information that keeps pouring in from all sorts of things, other people's expectations, the comparison thing where we look at other people and see what they're doing. Maybe I should be doing that. All of that stuff, as well as the things in our own head. So all of those shoulds, musts, need tos, all of those things. If we don't have a compass, it's very, very difficult to know what to say yes and what to say no to. And what is your compass? Your compass is your goals. And I use that word carefully because often when we set goals, most people, when we set goals, we set them, I don't really like the word incorrectly, but a lot of us are taught to set goals in a way that doesn't actually help us. We're setting ourselves up to fail. We don't want to do that. But we want to be clear about what are our objectives? Where do I want to be in life? How do I want to feel in my life? And what are the things that I'd like to see myself experiencing so that I can have that feeling? And that becomes our compass. And then each day we can ask ourselves, okay, what are the things that are important in my day to help move me towards that? And my recommendation is that we keep it really focused, right? Because we only have so much time and so much energy and so much focus, and we want to nurture it. And this doesn't mean that, you're only allowed to do one business or one of this or one of that. But what I'm saying is keep your bigger objectives down to maybe 3 or 4 across different things that you love and different things that align for you, rather than trying to eat the whole buffet at once. Let's just have a few things on our plate and then we can come back for the other ones later. And that helps you to be able to have a compass that you can steer by without going round and round in circles. So it's about knowing where you want to be, and that ultimately is about what is the kind of experience I want to have in life, how I want to feel in life, and what will help me to experience those feelings. And each day, little steps towards that. And if we're doing that and showing up each day in ways that support us and nurture us and give us permission to be human, then that actually, it does become that simple. That's going to lead you naturally into having a healthy style that works for you. We've got to be clear about our goals, our aspirations, our the life that we want to be living, so that we can see what's going to align with it and what's not. And then life becomes a really, really, really simple series of choices. When someone puts something in front of you, have you tried this? This new thing, this new pill, this new magic eating regimen or exercise trick or business formula, whatever it is. You can look at it and you go, yeah, is that going to move me closer to where I want to be or not? And it's really simple. And then if it moves you forward, you can have the pleasure of saying yes. If it's not going to move you towards where you want to be, you can experience the pleasure of JOMO, the joy of missing out, the joy of saying no to something that would knock you off track and away from that sustainable well-being and balanced life that you may be wanting for yourself. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'm just going to do a very quick recap. All right, let's summarize. So I've covered essentially 5 things with you today. And the 5 things are, first and foremost, you are unique. That means you have a great big permission slip to say no to things that have worked for other people, but don't align with the unique human being that you are and the lifestyle that you want for yourself. And you get to choose. Number 2, let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a direction, it's not a destination. Allow yourself to be human. Right? Give yourself the kindness of giving you permission to be a human being on a human journey. And that's the only way that we learn, is by tripping up from time to time so that we can learn from that, right? You're a parent, you've seen your kids do that again and again. We wouldn't learn to walk unless we tripped up a lot. And it's the same with everything, right? Tip number 3, delete these words from your dictionary. Should, need to, have to, must. All of them are red flags that whatever the thing is that we should do, need to do, have to do, must do, is not in alignment with who we are and what we want right now in our lives. It's a subtle form of manipulation that we do to ourselves or we allow others to do to us. And you have a great big permission slip to draw a big fat line through those words in your dictionary and to delete them from your vocabulary. Number 4 is, let's broaden our perspective on well-being. Well-being is a multidimensional thing. follow what feels good to you, and please start acknowledging all of the things that you already do every day, often without even realizing it, that are supporting and nourishing your well-being and also the other people in your life. Acknowledge, celebrate, and be kind to yourself for all of that stuff. And the more you put your focus on what you're already doing towards your well-being, it's going to create more momentum towards well-being, which is a beautiful thing. And number 5 is be clear about your compass, about what it is that you want in your life, how you want to feel, what it is you want to experience to help you feel that way. And that becomes your compass when you're choosing what to allow into your life and what to say no to. So I do hope that served you, right? I'd love to hear if anyone has any other nuggets. I can see Lynn's still with us. It's so awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're watching on the replay as well, just drop nugget and share any other big takeaways or anything that you want to actually go, actually, that's an idea that I want to take and start applying in my life right now. So drop that. And again, if you know anyone else who you feel would benefit from hearing this, feel free to share the love, to sprinkle the link to this video around the interweb as well. My mission is to really to help, and particularly busy mums, right? Because we've got so much on our plates, to help more people to live life to the fullest, to be able to look after your well-being in a way that works for you, and so that you can actually create a life that you love, and also so that that can spread out to the other people that you connect with in life. As far as I'm concerned, we need that now in the world more than ever. So if you know anyone else who is maybe struggling, maybe feeling a bit of the pressure, maybe just needs a little bit of an uplift, feel free to share the love. And again, if you would like a copy of the notes, the show notes from this call, my notes, just as an aid memoir for you so that you can remember what we've covered today, just drop notes in the comments and I'll make sure that you get a link to them. I'd like to thank you again for joining me. Again, Anna McKinley, helping entrepreneurial mums to create a strong foundation for living a great life through helping put in place those foundations of well-being, and so that you can actually create a life that you love and love the life that you're living right now. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. I will actually be back with another live, same time next week. And I invite you as well, if there are any particular topics you'd love to hear about in this space, drop me a direct message or even just pop it in the chat to this below. And I'll be very, very happy to add that into the agenda for the next few weeks coming up. Thanks so much for joining me. And I'm wishing you total well-being and a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to end the live now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you all, I hope, next week. Bye for now.